My tank is in shambles after my shrimp finding mission last night. And these fish are hungry. I'm just about to feed them, so I figured I'd go live and chat for a bit. So I did end up finding one of the shrimp. It's the bigger one. So it is possible that the smaller one got eaten. I see a comment on one of the videos. That was my first thought, is that the shrimp were eaten by the gourami. But I went back to the store where I bought both the shrimp and the gourami, and which it wasn't a box store, by the way. I did go to a smaller store to buy these, and the guy was pretty sure he had seen the size of the shrimp, and he's confident that they are too big for the gourami to eat. The shrimp that I haven't found yet is the smaller of the two that I bought. So I'm going to just continue to look for it and hope that I find it. It's possible that it got sucked up in the filter. So the one that I found was in my filter cart. Like, so I took out, the filter basket and put it in a bowl. And the shrimp was in that. Oh no, actually, when I took it out, I could see the shrimp in the bottom of that water there. And so I sort of scooted it back into the tank from in there. That's what had happened. I don't even remember if I was recording that. Hopefully I was. I'll go back and watch the videos. I know I remember that I was recording when I saw it up here. It's all a blur, you guys. I was just so excited to have found it. And so right now I just have my net over the filter intake here to prevent any more, any from that happening again. So hopefully that works. I do have one of those sponges, so I could put that over. I just have to think through everything. So anyway, I am having an issue unscrewing the fish food. So these fish are just like, feed me, feed me. But it's hard to do things with one hand while you're holding a camera with your other hand. So we're just gonna keep trying here. I haven't seen Molly yet. Gotta go in there and pick up the snowflake. I'm thinking about burying the whole base of that snowflake. I'm thinking about getting a bunch more gravel, honestly. Like another bag of the white gravel and some light blue gravel, and just kind of building up the bottom with more gravel. I'm thinking about a lot of things. Like I said, this is my only tank, and this is my first tank after not having a tank for like at least 25 years. And when I did have a tank before, all I ever did, I never had plants, and I basically just had like a goldfish and a Plecostomus. So I'm very beginner, kind of learning everything, and having a lot of fun. All right, y'all, here you go. The whole reason I got this tank. I've been wanting an aquarium for a few years. I always liked having one, and I thought I would just get a goldfish again and a pleco. I loved that setup. So simple, so I don't know, just simple, basic, easy for me. It was like, you know, what I knew. My kids are teenagers now, so it's like, oh, I have like time to do things other than like just my kids. So that's kind of what I was like, okay, I could get an aquarium. And I've been getting into houseplants the past several years. And so we moved and we were renting for a few years, and then we just bought a house. So it's like, okay, we're, you know, it's really hard to move aquariums. So didn't want to get one while we were renting, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, okay, we're stable. And I want to get rain barrels to collect rainwater to water my plants, but that's waiting until we get a new roof. So I thought, what else can I do to have really awesome water for my houseplants? And I thought an aquarium would be a good idea. And use the water that the fish poop in. Oh, well, the first thing I did was I got a worm farm a few years ago. And so I put my vegetable scraps in that, and I use the worm, what do they call it? There's a funny name for like the waste juice that comes out of it. They call it like liquid gold or something. I don't know. I don't remember right now. But so that's really great natural fertilizer. So I did that, and just this is like the next step to it's like houseplant cycle of I don't have a reverse osmosis system. So I'm just like doing everything else. And I don't really want that. Like, I don't want to remove everything from the water and then just add like, you know, the newts from bottles. I prefer the more like this kind of way. So here's, we have some little snails on the glass here, and like a few days ago, this fish totally would have just gone straight for these snails and just like pecked them right off, especially during feeding time like this. So I'm really happy to see this progress, that the fish have learned what snails are and that they're not playthings. And they are leaving them alone, because it was very distressing to me that first day and a half when they were just like running wild in the tank. I was this close to taking y'all back. For real. You are lucky you get to stay, because this is not the dwarf powder blue gourami show, let me tell you. All right, moving on. Like I said, let's look for Molly. I haven't seen her yet today. Is she in the rock? I don't see her. She was behind the rock yesterday. I have the tank pulled out from my wall because I was looking all over for those shrimp. bowls of the food. Because I did spill a lot on my floor. These little pellets are easy to spill. Moving, zooming. Yeah, and as I'm filming, I'm realizing, you know, the camera likes to focus on certain kinds of texture. So I'm thinking about what kind of decorations would be best to not draw the camera's attention so that they will focus on the snails rather than the decorations in the tank. So sort of thinking about that. But the snowflake will always stay. So the snowflake thing is from, well, I live in Minnesota. I used to play roller derby, and my roller derby name is Winter is Coming. So I kind of have, and like I put a snowflake on my face, and it's all about snowflakes. And like white and light blue. So a lot of people still call me Winter. So that's why. That's the thing. That is my thing with snowflakes and the color theme. This bubble bar, oh my gosh, this right here, that was me trying to push it down with one of my like tools. I was afraid I was gonna puncture it. That basically just made the rest of it pop out. Not frustrating at all. I'm gonna have to get like wooden spoons and have like 7 people help me, I think, push it down all at once. Sometimes I sit on this ball, and if you hear these kinds of noises, it's just the ball, I promise. Wow, I really don't see Molly. Oh, I think I see her. Right. I think I see her in there. It's super hard to see her in there, though. kind of still looking for the shrimp too. I didn't really know that I was gonna buy the shrimp when they were so small. Like, I didn't see the shrimp before the guy had put them in the bag. I don't know if I would have voluntarily said, oh yeah, I want those. I just was like, yeah, I want 2 blue shrimp. And I hadn't even seen them in the tank. They're pretty small. They're like, I don't know, 1.5 centimeters is the bigger one. I mean, I know they'll grow, but I was picturing like 3 centimeters. Go over to the other side. I really do. I like seeing the snails just kind of like all over everywhere. Well, there she is. You're coming out to say hello. Hello. I wonder if, like, well, so it's amazing to me that, like, she's so big and kind of all the rest of the snails aren't growing as fast. And I wonder if it's because there weren't as many in the tank when she was in the tank, so she could eat so much more. Oh my gosh. There are, I've seen 3 or 4 other ram's horn snails in here, and I just am anxious, and I want them to grow and get big like her. And they are, but just slowly. I mean, even all the other snails, I want them to get big too. And it just seems like they're all growing slowly. I guess that I'm going to put some food in. And I want to slow down the egg hatch, you know, the eggs laying and breeding more snails. But just, I want the ones in there to grow. Whoops. I feel like she wanted to turn the corner and hang on the underside, but lost her grip. Oop. She's in slow motion today. I'll put some algae in when I stop recording. Maybe I'll attempt to do it one-handed. All I feed my snails. I did the crushed up eggshells. I talked about that yesterday for their shells so they get calcium. And then the only thing I've ever fed is hold on. Are these algae wafers? That's what I feed. I know other people have done like vegetables, like they will blanch vegetables and put it in for their snails. I haven't tried that yet. Maybe I will soon. I'm really happy with how that UV light that I got, it's just a little tiny UV bulb that I put in the filter, and it just kills the any algae that might be in the water as it goes through the filter, so I don't have to worry about algae blooms anymore. Definitely works. It's keeping my water clear. I was talking with a friend how she used to keep a tank and like I definitely don't really mind the look of green water. I definitely would get that with my other tanks, like with my fish and pleco tanks every once in a while. I don't mind it, but with this tank, I want to be able to see the snails, and I can't see them. They're so small, and I need to be able to see through to the back. if I want to see the snails. So it's pretty important that the water stay clear. I'm really just beginning to learn about aquatic plants too. I'm not sure how much I want to get into that. I think I do. I need to stop stressing myself out. Sorry, the mail came. Yeah, once I am kind of knowing what I'm doing with the tank more, as far as shrimp maybe and stuff, then I'll probably start researching plants more. Maybe figure out. I just kind of been getting random plants that I like the look of, and that wherever I go has. I really only, like, I got just, like I said, random plants from one store. Like when I first set up the tank, and then just this past weekend I got these 2 big ones with the bigger leaves, because I knew I wanted some with bigger leaves. And then my friend that I got the tank from, she gifted me some floating plants, which I've pretty much gotten rid of now. I didn't want to deal with all the tiny little floating plants. They were cute, but they were kind of just getting everywhere, so. I do like these bigger floating plants. I like the look of floating plants. I just, those tiny ones were, I had to have the plastic thing to keep them out of the filter, and so, but these are cool. I like this look. All right, I'll put some algae down. Oh. So I just do like one of these wafers about once a week is kind of what I've been doing. I break it up into like 3 or 4 pieces and kind of spread it out so that they're not all in one huge clump. And let's see, I put some in the tank. I think it was Sunday, because I was worried about the whole fish and snail. I don't know, but then it kind of like, I think it attracted the pleco over to Molly. But that's just going to happen. They're just going to have to kind of learn how to share. But also the pleco has so much other food that he can eat, so what's going on here? You saying hi? There must be a little tasty tidbit. Sometimes get the algae sort of near where I want them to be. Let's see, I usually put one on the flat rock. So I'll just put that one up there. I'm kind of making this corner the fish feeding corner. So I'm not gonna put the algae over there. I'm gonna let that kind of be their dining area. And I'll keep the rest of the tank for the snails, which it has. I've always kind of, well, I don't remember. Oh. What do we have going on? That one usually doesn't stay there, but we'll see how long it will. I can't really tell what's going on when they do this whole, like, I don't know what they're latched onto, and I don't know, like, what the spinning thing means. I don't know. Where are my snail scientists? Who are my expert snail behavior people? I'm sure that's a thing, right? I'm gonna have to start doing some research. What's the biggest snail? Are there snails that are like bigger than a foot across? I hope so. That would be so big, so cool. I'm sure in prehistoric times there were. I hope so now. Alright, so we got some algae in there. It's like I'm looking right at it and I have no idea what is happening. Ooh. That's gonna flip around real fast. But what is going on with those little snails? I've never seen this. I don't know what is going on. I'm so glad I'm recording this. Wow. She is like, you want to see some snail behavior? All right. Well, you know what, Molly? You have to do tool stuff like Dyson did. That's what you're missing. So go get a leaf or something. What are you doing? She like dying right before our eyes. That's my alarm to go get my laundry. No, she was just like saying, hey, who wants a piggyback ride? Maybe that's what she was saying. Mm-hmm. That's just poop. I know what that is. I know what it looks like when a snail poops. Well, that was very interesting. I am going to have to do some research about snails. Maybe. Or maybe I'll just keep watching my snails and learning as I go. That is how I tend to do things. Okay, well, I better get back to my chores. I was hoping to maybe get a glimpse of the shrimpy, but can't complain about that snail gazing session. You can see how relatively small Molly is. Her body right there is probably about a centimeter. Her shell is a little over a centimeter. Get on working on the tank and have it be in more order eventually. All right, see y'all next time.